You like my eyes? Aren't they pretty? That was shit. Hi. I just love blending. Like I could blend all day long. I'll legit just use my saliva for this. What do you want? Anyway, the show must go on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to see how I created this like date night kind of eyeshadow look, then stay tuned, keep on watching. So the first shade I'm going to take out of this palette is the darkest colour, which is Oath. And I'm going to take that on a blank canvas E24 brush. Just on one side of the brush. And I'm just going to pat it into the lash line like so. And you can see my concealer's creased a little bit there, but that's fine. That'll just buff out. Usually if I had noticed earlier, I would have just buffed that out, but it will just buff out with the shadows. So I'm working just up towards the crease, into the crease, and out into the part of your eye that comes around into a corner, and then stopping there, just following around the soft bit from the corner of your eye halfway across your lid. And I'm just kind of dabbing, just packing that on there, dabbing a drag. And then now most of the product is transferred off the brush, so I'm just going to flip the brush. See the shadows on this side, there is still a little bit on this side, but I'm just going to take it a little bit past where I had that shadow onto the concealer, very very slightly past, and just drag it in the way like so. Very 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 slight motions, just like so. And going back on the other side of the brush, I'm just going to darken that back down in the crease there because it's not quite dark. This is just a process of doing this same thing over and over again. And don't forget to keep patting, even if you're going in a second time, don't forget to keep patting over the same bit of your eye here until most of the product has come off, because yeah, you might forget and then go out to, you can see where the lighter blend is that we have going on, and if you forget and you go past with the shadow, then you know you've kind of ruined everything. So making sure most of it's off. Most of the time I have an old kind of a towel, or else just wipe it off in my wrist, and I just give the brush a little bit of a wipe to take majority of the product off the brush, and just do that same thing again, then just going a little bit past and dragging that edge in. And this is just to start the blend, and then you can literally go with the brush. It might be a little bit more difficult because it's kind of a flat brush, but yeah, just if you want to take a different brush for that part, this part, you can, but just little kind of circles to blend it like so. The next shade I'm going to go in with is Savior, which is this shade here. I'm loving how quick my camera auto focuses. Like, it's like, hi. The other camera I had just didn't do that. So yeah, and I'm going to take that on a blank canvas E10, and I'm just going to go in with the tippity tips of the bristles like this, not like sideways or anything, yeah. And then over the part where, see that little small line, and then it's a slightly bit lighter, so we're going to go over that, not past it, just over that where the darker shadow is, and that'll help us. That earlier blend that we did will help us make this a nicer blend. Picking up a little bit of shadow at a time, just like top tap kind of a pick up, if that makes any sense. Tap tap, blend blend. And then I'm going to start to drag it in ever so slightly around, continuing on the soft part of my eye, because I'm going to do a cut crease. And if you cut your crease against nothing, then it's not really a cut crease, is it? It's just a nothing. So yeah, and then once we've got that kind of blended into the darker shade, which is Oath, which I'm pretty happy that it is kind of blended in, but it's not blended into the skin. So once you've got that kind of laid down there, give it a wipe off with my towel. Most of the product's probably gone off it anyway. And then I'm going to go a little bit past it, just the brush half on where the shadow was and half on to where there's nothing, and just really slightly go back and forward, mini back and forwards, and we're just blending that last lighter brown into the concealer that we've primed our eyes with. And you can do this all day long. The more you do it, the more she's blended. That might be half a lie, because if you keep doing it, then you know it's gonna stop at some point. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of waffling. So yeah, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is that you could spend ages blending to get it the way you want it, but I want to stop till it's the way I want it. Okay. She says okay and then continues to blend. I just love blending. Like I could blend all day long. It's not like, people always say to me, oh, how do you have the patience for makeup? And I always say I'm not doing makeup for the end result. Well, kind of am, like in some sense, but I'm not really doing it for the end result. I'm doing it because I like the process. Like I like doing makeup. So it's not having patience for me, it's having a good time for me. Yeah, I just picked up another bit of Savior there, and I'm just kind of blending that into the soft bit here on the outer corner, because I didn't think it was quite dark enough. Yeah, another thing I will say to you, whenever I try to do videos and talk through what I'm doing, I find that it never really turns out as good as when I kind of just go for it. Like my hands kind of, I don't know if this might sound ridiculous, but my hands kind of just do what they want. I kind of just am like, without even thinking, I pick up a colour and I'm like, yeah, that needs to go there, because you know, I just feel like, yeah, that needs a little bit more shadow there. And you know, so when I'm trying to talk through steps, I kind of skip a few bits, so when I get distracted I feel like it just fall into auto mode and my shadow comes out better than when I'm actually really thinking about what I'm doing. So that's where we're at the minute. So going with a blank canvas E87, I have absolutely nothing on this brush. It might look like there is a little bit because it's stained, but I'm just gonna go half on the very edge of the blend that we last did, so half on that and half onto the concealer, and doing the same thing again just into the skin, and that'll just give you that seamless blend that looks like the shadow doesn't even stop, it just goes on forever and ever. I don't know if you get what I mean by that. It's like there's not like a line, it's not like shadow, no shadow, it's like, yeah, I don't know if I make sense half the time. And then any dark bits that you feel are blotchy, like I feel like here might be a bit, just kind of give it an out tickle, circles or sideways or whatever you kind of feel. See, that's what I'm on about. Like do you know what I mean? Like if I was explaining that to you, I feel like you'd have to say, like most people in the videos will say, so just do some circles or whatever, but I kind of just do whatever. I do circles and sideways and just, you know, little tiny buff movements. So yeah, just go wherever you feel like it needs to be blended, especially if you have a brush that has nothing on it. It's kind of quite handy, you can't really make much mistakes. Going in with a Kaylee SK05. I really like this brush. I didn't when it first came out. I was mad into the Zoeva 144, I think it is, and it's like 4 or 5 times the size of this bad boy. But I don't do my whole lid with a concealer brush anymore. I just carve my brow and then I get like this and put it on the rest of my lid. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go in with this and cut my crease against that nice light brown. I'm going in with P. Louise base in shade 2, and I'm just gonna pick this mirror up. Not that you can see that, but anyway. And I don't like to cut my crease from my tear duct. I kind of like to go from my nose. Well, that's not really my nose, but like here, this area. And I feel like it opens up your eye, makes your eye bigger and all that. And it just looks, it's more noticeable, and I just think it looks nicer, so. I'm just doing a pat. Tiny little stamps. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my finger and I'm just going to tap it along the edge of where the concealer meets the shadow, and this just gives it a bit of a blend before I even touch it with a brush. You see? Now I'm going to go in with the shade 1996, which is this one here. Now these the shimmer shades in this palette are really nice, but I find like they don't go on with me for a brush. I've tried spraying a brush, wetting a brush, everything. It doesn't work. Well, it does a little bit, okay, but yeah. So I go in kind of right along the line with a brush, and then I'll go in with the rest of where the concealer is with my finger, and I just feel like whatever way your skin, when you're rubbing the pigment, just makes it much more shiny and it comes up much nicer. Yeah. I'm just gonna go in with a flat packing brush. This one's from Unicorn Cosmetics. I got it in the, I think it was called Old School or something like that. You got like 5 or 6 brushes in the one set, and I really like that set. I think it was less than 20 quid anyway, and I've been raving about it for ages. And you get a little pencil case with it like this, and this is the fluffiest little ball that I've ever come across in my life. So yeah, I really would recommend this. All the brushes in it, especially if you're beginning, all the brushes in it are, I use all of them, and I could do a full look with all of them apart from foundation, but I could do a full eye look with the brushes that you get in this. So yeah, I'm going to go in with this one. It's a little flat one that comes with it, and I'm going to pick up 1996, and I'm going to pick up quite a bit of it and pack it in there. See what I mean? Like, it doesn't really do anything. It's not coming off. I'm going to try spray. See, coming in a little bit better. This is doing my bloody head in. I hate the way it just doesn't come out. Right, I'm just gonna dive in with my finger and hope for the best, because it wait till you see how much better it comes out when you use your finger. So I'm just give it a bit of a rub. And then be really careful not to get it on your past your line. It's really hard to do this with acrylics. But yeah, look at the difference. Finger, brush, like, what the F? And then just kind of tap it over the line where your shimmer is going to meet the dark shade there at the end. So remember I was saying earlier on about you had to do the crease darker so that when you cut the crease against it, that you'd be able to see the crease? Yeah, that happened. My cut crease doesn't look like a cut crease. Just looks like poo. That's what it looks like. Anyway, the show must go on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take that Real Techniques brush and I'm gonna go in with some P. Louise base and I'm gonna put it under my eye. I'm gonna clean that up first. In with that P. Louise base, right up in there. And yeah, I kind of apply it on like this with the brush, right up into my eye. And when it starts to, when you get to here, it kind of starts to go over the shadow. And then you don't know what to do because you're like, oh my god, if I keep going, it's gonna go into, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna get a beauty blender. This is the So Sue one and it's the best beauty blender ever. And just keep on dabbing that over the same point and then it will just disappear for you. And then continue on underneath the eye to get all that in there. Okay, I really like this autofocus on this camera, but when I'm doing my makeup and putting my hand, it kind of goes onto my hand, doesn't it? I just bought this camera and I loved it, and now so going back in with the Blank Canvas E24 and Oath, which is the darkest brown shade in this palette, and I'm tapping that off because I don't want it to fall out. And then I'm gonna connect from my shadow and just run it through my lashes. Now, the way I do the under the eye might not be how you like it, but wait till I'm finished to see if you make your judgment, because I put it on quite heavy and it looks a bit weird. I should put this light over here. Okay, so yeah, I put it on quite heavy. Just pack it right in there like that, right up around to the shadows and right into the corner, and just give her a wiggle. And then I go in with another fluffy brush, blank canvas E87. There's nothing on this again, and I'm just gonna buff the edge of that into the rest of the concealer, like I did when I was buffing it into when I was finishing off the top of my eye. So this is the Inglot 77 gel liner. It's so creamy and easy to go on. I'm just going in with a little arts brush like this. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have sensitive eyes, but I don't really. So I just kind of go ahead and do it without pulling it away. And if it gets into your lashes, which it always does with me, maybe because I don't pull my eye out, but whatever. And then what I like to do is go in with, I'll see if I can get closer so you can see the way it's all in my lash hairs. So on the other side of this blank canvas brush, it's a dual-sided brush. So on the other side of the E24 is an E23, and I'm just going to kind of keeping it nice and tight, buffing that eyeliner that's on my hairs in between my hairs, and keep wiping the brush off as you're going, because if this will get out of hand, like, so just teasing it. So I'm going in with a BH Cosmetics brush in number 8, which is just a compacted fluffy brush like this, and I'm just going to go over that and buff it out. It is looking a bit out of hand right now, but bear with me. And that'll just take the harshness off it and make it look smoky rather than lumpy. I feel like anybody that's been watching this video is probably gone now because I look insane. But wait till I do the rest of my face, okay? Just wait. So here's the finished look. And I just put a bit of the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter liners in there. These are the glitteriest liners I've ever used. I usually use the Collection Love Silver one, and it's pretty good, but it's nothing on these. But for these are €20. I think the other ones are like 3 or something. So I would definitely use the €3 one more often, and then use this whenever I want to treat myself. So yeah, I bet you thought it was going to look totally crazy when I started putting the black liner underneath my eyes, but once you have the lashes on, these lashes, by the way, are from Pennies. They're €3. They are called Sultry, I think, and they are my babe lashes. They're my go-to ones now. They look like mink extensions in my opinion, and I just loving it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like my video, all that kind of stuff. I've got a new camera now, so hopefully I'll be doing more videos more regularly because it'll be easier to use, etc., all that stuff. So if you want to see anything, then let me know. I will be more than happy to film it for you. Thanks guys, bye.